Hi everyone, Messy Coder here, playing about with Unity's animation and animator state machines so we can make our own Marvel vs. Capcom style character selection screen. This video I'm just going to be playing about with how we can make a standard button that uses animations rather than using colours or sprites when it's changing its state. So we're going to have a on hover, selected, pressed and clicked animations going on with our Unity Animator state machine. So if you know how to do this stuff already, you can just skip this video, but if this is new to you or you've struggled with playing about with animation events and transitions like I have, hopefully this video might be of some assistance. We're going to create some methods that we're going to use in animation events that are going to get triggered at a certain stage of an animation. So sit back, enjoy, and I'll see you all in a moment. I'm inside Unity and I've got this little picture that I took a screenshot from playing Marvel vs. Capcom. Before I get started, I'm just going to click on my camera, change skybox to be a solid colour, click on a colour and change it to be black. Then I'm going to right click in here, UI, I'm going to make an image and I'm going to drag in this over here and set native size. Now it's all nice and big. And you say what, 1920 by 1080. If I go to my canvas, I'm going to leave it on screen space overlay, and I'm going to change constant pixel size to be scale with a screen size, and I'm going to change it to the 1920 by 1080, and I'm going to keep it on width. And if I go to my image and put him in the middle, over here, we've got 1920 by 1080. What did I say as my canvas? 1920 by 1080. Looking good. If I go to game and now you can see I've got more black at the top. I've got like a border. If I change this to be height, then I'm cropping off. It's like the movies on the TV back in the 80s and 70s where they just chopped off the sides and you didn't get to see what's happening over here, but they figured it would be fine. But nowadays they give you that widescreen look, so you lose the height but you can see the full width, and that's what we want. Ideally you would be in the 16 by 9, in which case you can see everything perfectly. And if I click play, I can make that big and then click play, you can see it fills up nicely. And this is ideally what we'll be ending up with in this little demo video that we're playing about with now. Obviously it'll be interactable, it'll be fun, it'll be clickable, you'll be enjoying yourself and learning hopefully maybe one thing in this entire video. So that's the first little thing that we're doing to get ourselves ready. And now I'm going to right click in here, UI again, and make a button. And if I zoom in a bit over here so you can see what we're working with, you can see it's a bit of these old blurry normal text buttons, but don't worry about that because we're not actually going to use any of this text that's in here. We're not worried about that. And I'm going to change a color tint transition for this button to be animation. And you'll see that, boom, now we get these pre-made triggers. Normal, highlighted, pressed, selected and disabled. I'm going to click auto generate animation. Bang. It's going to ask me where do I want to save this animation controller. I'm going to put it in Marvel vs. Capcom arcade demo, and I'm going to call this template animation. Boom, and it saves it, and here it is. And if I click it and go to the animator, you can see this animator. Ideally I want to be clicking this one that's in my scene, in my hierarchy. And now if I go over to the animator animation tab, which I've taken from Windows, animation, and then animation. Don't get mixed up between animation and animator. Animator being the state machine and animation being the actual animation you're doing, the changing. Animated parameter. I haven't clicked that before. What's that going to do? Oh look, it's got a little pop out of the parameters. Isn't that pretty? Let's close that. We don't need that. So if I go back here and turn off maximize on play, click play, and now we see this button. I've moved over it so it's highlighted. I move away, it goes back to normal. If I click it, It went pressed and selected. If I hold down, it just keeps it on pressed. I need, ideally, an event that will be, once I click the button, it will do a funky animation that has a fixed length, and after that animation I will go back to either a disabled state or the normal state. I'm thinking disabled? Maybe. Yeah, disabled state. That's the plan. That is the plan. Now, if I'm going to be using the pressed to do that, then that might not work, because if I do a quick, oh, GeForce driver is available. Thank you very much, GeForce. If I click this, see how short it was? If I hold it down, it's going for ages. And I'm not going to want it to loop as well. So we're going to yeah, let's do this. Let's use the one that it's got, and let's hack it a little bit. Let's hack it. Let's be naughty. Let's move this over there so it actually looks nice and pretty. And you know what? We're going to do it in order. Highlighted. So in my world, it's highlighted, selected, pressed. Because if you're using the game controller or your keyboard to cycle through them, then it will be selected. And by default, when you move your mouse over them, it will automatically become highlighted as well. So we need to do some little scripts that we will call methods by using this little animation event. You see, I just click this little, I'm going to say a little pointy thing, booknote thing. So it's got a name. In chat, can you please tell me what the proper name for that is? I'm going to click and delete it. So let's go back to our project. I'm going to make here, right click, create a C# script. I'm going to call this test button. Now inside Mux, Messi's ultimate character selector, we've got a lot of ready-made methods to do this magic. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to show you very quickly what we can do ourselves. Now, bear with me, hang on, let's make this, here we go, go over here. So we're going to attach our script onto this button. I'm just going to minimize these a second so we can see here, template animation, that one there, I've got automatically added with this animation controller. And I'm going to drag in test button over here. And now we have our test button script attached onto our test button. Wonderful. So let's pop back into, here we go, this one. And I'm going to delete all this. I'm going to do a bit of naughty code. I'm going to say private, well you don't have to, it's implied, but before we do that, let's go over here. Using Unity engine.ui, I'm going to say private button m_button, and also while we're here we're going to say private animator, actual state machine, m_animator. And now, not so naughties, we're going to use void awake, and in the awake we're going to look for something that has these components automatically. Because we're sticking it in the awake, it's going to do less damage than if we put this in an update or anywhere else inside your method, to be fair. Always do these kind of jobs in the awake. And this dot game object get component, and I'm going to be looking for an animator. And I'm also going to say button this dot. You don't even need to do this bit anymore, but I just got used to do it from 100 years ago. Component button. Here we go. Now we've got these in the awake, so we're defining them. Cache them in there. They're saved. Lock them in the bank. Wonderful. So we're looking for, if I go back into Unity and go back to the animator, I'm going to click on this little plus in the parameters. We're going to make a new parameter, which is going to be a ball, and I'm going to call this ball clicked. And ball is going to be true or false. And yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool for now. So let's go back in over here, and we're going to make two methods. One method is going to be for actually don't even need to do that one. What we can do Or, this is really cheeky. Let's go into the highlighted animation. So highlighted. As I said, when we move the mouse over it, I want to be selecting it automatically. So on highlighted, straight away, we're going to create an event. So I clicked on this little thing. So here it is. And I need to look in here and find, oh, hang on, cell. I hate this. But you can just search. Push S, you get all of the S's. If I do SE, it goes to E because it finds the E's. And if I hold down here, eventually we'll get down to the bottom. Keep looking for select. Select. Keep looking for it. There it is. Select. Wonderful. So now, as soon as you get highlighted, it will go, hey, select me. And we can prove this. Going back to the animator, click on our button so it's highlighted, so we get the state machine going. Normal will be blinking. Normal, so it's normal. Now I'm going to move the mouse over the button. By magic, it will go highlighted and then immediately to selected. Da da da! We had a bit of a delay on there. I'm going to go on here, open up this little trippy down, and as I've got my transition selected, I'm going to turn off fixed duration, and I'm going to put duration transition to be 0. So there's going to be no lag whatsoever. Likewise with the selected, I'm going to turn off, actually keep fixed duration on, I'm going to turn off transition duration to be 0. Now there was a bit of a latency. Now, normal, 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 bang, straight away. See that? Didn't even blink. You didn't even see that highlighted happened at all. Trust me, it was there. And if we duplicate our button, and we put the second one over here, and just for sake of argument, we'll change the colour of this one to be red, so we can actually see a difference. Now I've got my second button, go here, and if we go over to this, you can see it's selected. Now if I go to the second button, button 1, and move over, why are you not working? Oh, hang on, click back into, always make sure you click back in so this is an active window state. So why isn't it working? This is insane. Now if I hover over it, it worked. If I go back over to this one, it goes back to being normal. Go over here, it worked. Go out of it, back over here, and it selected it. Now not because I've gone away, it's gone to normal, it's because the other one has been selected. So unless I actively go and select something else, it would always be selected. So if I go back to the red one here, if I click on it, you'll see that the pressed is working, so it hasn't stopped that working. Beautiful, beautiful. So now we want, when I've gone and clicked pressed, that it will stay here and pressed. I won't go back to selected. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Let's try this. I haven't tried this before. We're going to do this live together, holding each other's hands. So we've got this clicked ball, and let's go back into our script over here, and let's make a method. I'm going to call this method a nice easy one. It's going to be public void set anim trigger, and in there we're going to pass through a string name. Actually, no. You know what? Let's leave that one in. Let's do this one. Let's do two things. Set anim trigger, pass that in, and I'm going to say, oh, first of all, always make sure that we really do have an animator. So if we don't have an animator, then we just return out of this. And here I'm going to say m_animator dot set trigger, oh, not set bone location, set trigger, and passing through name. That's all this method does. So I can actually now forcefully tell it to go whichever trigger I want. Boom, trigger, 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 all over the place. Go pressed, highlighted, my own trigger that I could create, pineapples. And this method here will set that trigger. Now we're also going to do a public void set anim ball. Now please tell me there's a better way of doing this. And in here we go ball state. And bang over here. And I'm going to say again, let's just nick that from up here just to be safe. If there isn't an animator, then let's just get out of here so we don't cause an accident. And then I'm going to say M, or maybe for M animator dot set ball. Set ball is going to be, because ball needs two things. He needs to know what the ball is that we're going to change. Oh, you know what? Let's go even crazier. Say string value ball state, and then here we're going to pass through value, what ball is it, and state. What do we want it to do? And now make that private. And over here, because we can't use an event that has more than one parameter, doesn't like it, I'm going to say public void, or we could even be crazier. Now we're going to do it this way. Private void, public void, clicked button, and ball state. I'm going to use the same thing twice, and that is going to say set anim ball. See what we're doing here? And he's going to pass through clicked is the name of our ball and state is state. Save that. So what this does is, first of all, we're saying, hey, get me the button, make me a button variable, make me an animator variable, and in here on the wake, fill up my animator variable with me, the animator component that lives on me, if it's there, and get the button component that lives on me, if it's there, please. Thank you very much. And then we've got set anim trigger method that says, hey, I'm public, so you can call me out, everyone can use me, and I want a string called name. Make sure that we've got an animator that over here actually found something, and then use the method set trigger, which is a nice method you get rid of the buttons, and pass through what trigger you want to be set. And with set anim ball, we're pretty much making our own one of these by saying, give me what ball you want the state to change. Again, we're checking make sure the animator's there, and we're using that nice method that you get with buttons called set ball, passing through the value and the state. Now we can use this then loads of times for doing other stuff in this class. We're making a public method, which because this one doesn't really need to be public, and it's going to be clicked button. For want of a better name, we're passing through a ball called state, and we're just going to say, look, I know that this ball is the click ball, squeaky chair, and I want to know what the state's going to be changed. I want to tell you what the state's going to be changed to. Exciting. Let's pop back over here, and now if we go to our animation, oh, hang on, what didn't it like? It didn't like something. Inspector window, weird thing. Let's just clear that because Unity's being odd. And find in this drop down the pressed. Now somewhere in here, let's say about here, 50, actually let's say 15. I'm going to make an event. Add an event. Find in this drop down. Let's see if this is going to work. Find in this drop down. All the way, this is annoying, you have to hold your finger down, all the way down the palm. Please, somebody in the chat, tell me how to do this better. Set anim trigger, and, oh no, we want clicked. All the way down, not set anim trigger, we want clicked. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do. Here we are now. Here. Is it alphabetical? Are you alphabetical? Did we not even save? We did save. Public void, click button, save. Do it again. Where are you hiding? Go back in over here, and just delete. Oh, hang on. Do we have the? No, you do have it on there. Can I delete this other button because it's confusing me? Go back over here. Go to pressed. Perfect. Gonna click add an event. Now, I'm gonna hold down C until I find it. C, 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 C. Oh, hang on, these are all. Young man, where are you? Where are you? Test button. Public void clicked. Or state. Maybe if we. No. Really? Doesn't it? It doesn't like balls? Can you not pass? You can't pass a ball in there. Ooh, interesting. You know what? Let's pass it as an int and then change it to be a ball. Cool. Let's do that. So let's say you are an int state. Yeah? Or I'm going to call you status because that sounds better. And he doesn't like it. Look, he doesn't like it. See that? Doesn't like it. But I can say this. I can say does not equal 0. Now I am turning my int into a ball. How is this going to be performance? Is it going to be terrible? Possibly. Just don't know. Now let's go back over to our pressed event, and in the drop down we'll do C enough times. Clicked button int. Interesting that we can't pass in a ball here. Wow. And if I push this to be 1, so now it's true, we go back to our animator, and on our pressed, I'm going to force this to be, put that as a 0 for our transition duration. Fixed duration. Is that going to work? Can interrupt self? No. Otherwise, it kept interrupting itself. Let's see if that's going to work. Here, I'm going to change the selected to also have a clicked, oh, not disabled, clicked is false. So we'll only go to selected if we haven't actually clicked the button. Ah, clever. Now, this is going to be weird. Because normally, it would go bang to there. Oh. And even... I don't think this is a good way of doing it. I think it's better if we just made our own animation in here called clicked. But just for the sake, I want to be interested to see what's actually going to happen. Let's click play and see what happens. So, first of all, we're playing. I'm going to zoom in a minute just so I can see it a bit better. When I move my mouse over this button, it will now be, hang on, click in so it's active, it will now be selected. Cool. My clicked ball over here is still false. And I'm going to click just once on the button. Boom. Oh, if I hold it down long enough, it hit that. Ah, and it's trying to go to selected. Look, it's hit the trigger. It's saying, look, go to select. But selected's going, no, you can't come to me. You can't come to me because I have a condition that says clicked must be false. So don't come a knock in. Awesome. Brilliant. So this works because I put this event all the way over here, and by definition the pressed has its own logic going. Now, what if we do something a little bit different? I like this. I like where I'm going with this. Watch what we're going to do. We're going to create now another state. I'm going to call this one here clicked. Or I can't have you name this state. Hello? There we go. Wow, that was weird. I had to click off and click back on. I'm going to call this state clicked. Because pressed, you know, give me another thing. And instead of on the pressed, we're going to have this event, this animation event. I'm going to change it. Scroll down again. I gotta set. I wonder if I can use the wheelie mouse. If I click it once, can I use the wheelie mouse? No. This is really awkward. Hang on. What if we use the down key I can use this. Oh, I can use it on my keyboard. This is much better. Okay, it's not so bad. Using keyboard to do it. Okay, so set enemy trigger. And we want to set the enemy trigger to be clicked. Oops, spell it right. But that's not actually going to do anything yet. Because all we've made is a state called clicked. Now I need to delete this one because we don't like using the same name. And I'm going to create a trigger called, you guessed it, clicked. We're going to make another ball called stop. Brilliant. So now this is looking for stopped to be false. Beautiful. Oh, this is fantastic. Can you see where we're going with this? Now I'm going to make another transition from any state to clicked. Right click that, left clicked, unclicked. And now, if I go, cannot prove because I don't actually have any animations, go here, put my duration to be 0, so we've got none of this nonsense lagging. Turn off can transition to self, because that's just a bit weird. A little bit in a perpetual world of being in myself. Maybe if we want it in, I don't know. And then, oh, this is lovely. Now we need to make an animation for clicked, by the way, because we need to, once we're here, do something. At the moment we don't have an animation, we just have a state. See, motion, we've got nothing there. Now if I go back to animation, and on the pressed, you see we've got set enemy trigger, which is the method we made, and we're passing through clicked as our trigger. On the animator, we've got our trigger called clicked. That also has a corresponding state called clicked. I'm going to click on this little circle, say clicked lots of times, and you'll see we don't have a clicked animation waiting for us. So I'm going to go back over here to the project. I'm just going to right click, create animation, and I'm going to call this, you guessed it, clicked. I've just got a great imagination here, haven't I? So if I go back now to our animator state, make sure I've got my button selected just because I want to, and on the clicked here, I'm going to type in clicked, and that's my animation. Now when I go to the animation, I can find clicked in the drop down. And here, over in clicked, I can say it would be 15, what is this, milliseconds? And I'm going to say boom, 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 clicked button. And I'm passing through my ball as my integer to be a positive ball, so 1. Now we could also say it to be true or false as a string, but I like this ball 1 or 0 because, we're living in a binary world, and it's really what at the end of the day a ball is just a 1 or a 0. Now I don't like the fact that we can only pass through one parameter in status, and we went through changing the status and hard coded in the name, but actually let's go crazy and say set anim ball on, ball on, and pass that through as a string name, and here we're going to say true, and this is the name which changes. And if we copy that and paste that in and say off, then you're going to be false. We could go even crazier. Say something like public void set anim ball trigger string name, and then say set anim ball on method from before name, and then go animator get ball name and put an exclamation in front of it so it triggers it. And actually by default let's always say that you're going to be false if I don't actually get anything. Right, let's pop back into Unity. Now we've got our animation clicked here, we've got our stopped. If I go to our transition, we need to make sure that looks warning you. You need to have something or have an exit time from the previous one, but we're going to say looking for the trigger clicked, and we had transition duration set to 0 so there's no little lag going through. There's a little blend from one to the other, go straight in, clank into it. If we pop into our animation here that we had on the clicked, see it was the clicked one, over this here, oh it's not happy, so we need to find, and actually we've worked out by going up, it's easier than going down, so we don't want to use the trigger because I want it to be on, and we're looking for stop. Right, let's click play, and now it's going in blah blah blah. Move the mouse over, went straight to selected, and now when I click pressed, you see that it went for a second but then came back. That's because this little badger here, this transition here, really should have an exit time, and it's going to be looking for the transition of 0.75 to go, then force it to go into clicked. I could also play about with this whole interruption source stuff, which I ain't really got a clue about. That's waiting 0.75 milliseconds and then going in. So if we change this down to be 1, and then click it straight away, bang. But I still don't like that because for a brief second we were still there. So if I put this back up to actually let's leave that as it is. I put it back to 75. I actually turn off as exit time so it doesn't have anything. And when you click on it, you'll see that it had for a brief second, it went back over here. If we go to our animation for pressed and pressed for clicked, and let's zoom out as much as we can, go over here. Instead of being on 15, we put that back to the first frame. So we're saying stop, send the stop, make it true. Go back over here. Remember, we're still in play mode, we're playing about all this one time. You're now going to click. It should immediately set the ball, which will force it to stop going to selected. Going to click it. There you go. Without you needing to play about with the transitions and fixed lengths and all that stuff. Now we're forced to live inside clicked. As soon as I untick this though, we're going back into selected, which is what I want. Brilliant. Now what we've got on the last step of that animation is we're going to disable the button after these 15 milliseconds. So here, add an event. Not sure if there already is one by default. Let's see, is there a set on destroy? Is destroyed? Is destroyed? Can we say is active and then pass it as a false? Nope. Is undestroyed. Get on click, pressed. Anything funky in here we can use? Is interactable. These are asking. Set sprite. We want to set, not a question. Let's make another quick method because I can't find one that reset is destroyed. Should we use that as set image instant clear state? What's that one do? I know what that one does. Would that send us back to normal? Let's see what happens. Click play. Haven't played about with that one before. Now we're in selected. Yeah, it did. Sent us back to normal. Wow, what a funky method that the button has for us. Thank you, Mr. Button. That's very nice of you. Bear in mind, popping over to normal, we've still got stopped as true, which is why it's not triggering the selected. The highlight still works, but highlighted keeps on trying to say select me, and he's going, no mate, you ain't going anywhere. If I untick that, and we go back in here, you see immediately it works here. So what we can say is in our animation, maybe on the 14th. Add an animation event. I don't think it would work. It would be conflicting, wouldn't it? If we added it afterwards, it would never get there, would it? Let's just try it. Let's have some fun together. Turn it off. Stop. I love this whole playing about at runtime. Not sure that's going to work. Let's click. Yeah, look, it really doesn't like us doing that at runtime. He was really upset. Let's have a look. Is that still there? It is. Okay, let's do this. Click Animator. Click in here. So we're selected. We haven't clicked anything yet. We're going to click now. Oh, it worked! Oh, that's lovely. So, press it. You saw for a brief moment that the ball for stop was on and then off. There we go. We are forcing it to run through the animation. Oh. Hee hee. Lovely. Well, the things that you could do with Unity's Animator state machine and the animation and animation events. A lot of power. Throw in some of the standard methods that you get with a button. Throw in your own methods and a squeaky chair, and the sky's the limit. And this is the first part of this very long video of just playing about with the animator. And in the next video, we're actually going to start making these sexy buttons. So I'll see you in the next video. And if you do like it, click it. Till next time. If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now, and down below there's that big juicy subscribe button, and right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.